Welcome to my channel. I am Junia Win. I am a writer. Today, I would like to introduce you with my books. My Life Will Go On, the first edition, and the second edition of My Life Will Go On, also named as The Picture of Junia Win. The first edition was published in 2013 and the second edition 2018. These two books were about my life, my stupidity, my ambition, my academic life, my failures, my adventures, and my hope, and so on. I wrote about my life from the beginning of my life up to the 2012-2013 in the first edition, and I updated about my life up to the 2017 and also included the first quarter of the year 2018 in the second edition. If you want to read about my life, you can easily find my articles, my writings, and the label of My Life Will Go On at my English blog. The cover of My Life Will Go On in the first edition, it was drawn by Po U Tet. Po U Tet was a very famous painter in Burma. Po U Tet and my grandparents, they were close friends. He drew some illustrations and paintings and drawings for my grandmother's books. I remembered he often visited our house and discussed with my grandmother for the illustrations and drawings for my grandmother's books. At that time, in 1984, he drew a picture of me at my notebook. So, when my book, My Life Will Go On, about to be published, I used it for the cover of my book. And the second edition of my book, My Life Will Go On, The Picture of Junia Win, I asked my twin brother, Mao Yip, he is a cartoonist. I asked him to draw the illustrations and pictures, drawings of me for the whole book. So the cover and the inside illustrations were drawn by my twin brother. Now, I will tell you about my family, a family of writers. My grandparents, U Khin Maung Lat and Daw Khin Myo Chit, they both were writers. My grandfather, he was also an English teacher. My grandmother, Khin Myo Chit, she was a famous writer. She wrote a lot of books both in English and in Burmese. Her famous books were Colorful Burma, Anota of Burma, Burmese Scene and Sketches, Flowers and Festivals Round the Burmese Year, 3 Years Under the Japs, and so on. Her famous short stories were The 13-Carat Diamond, Her Infinite Variety, The Four Puppets, and etc. My father, Dr. Khin Maung Win, he obtained his PhD in mathematics at Caen University of France in 1970. He was also a writer. He wrote about game theory and it was published in 2002. He introduced new maths to Burmese readers. He wrote various subjects, science and mathematics. He also translated science books into Burmese, included Isaac Asimov. My mother, her pen name was Takatu Suji Win. She wrote a lot of children's books in her lifetime. She introduced Dr. Su and his illustrated stories for Burmese children. My twin brother, Mao Zhi, he is a cartoonist. He is also a writer. He became a writer in 1989. He became a writer 6 or 7 years ahead of me. At that time, I still did not want to be a writer like him, like my family's members. I even hated someone told me you should have to write. You should have to become a writer like your family members. So, what you wanted to be? What's your ambition? My ambition was to be a teacher, to be a tutor at the university. But I did not become a tutor at the university, even though I obtained my master's degree in mathematics in 1997. My life at the university was like a fool's paradise for more than 10 years with the hope to be a tutor. I started to write in 1996. I wrote about my life in my writings in Burmese. My grandfather, at that time, he was still alive, and he saw his granddaughter started writing. He was so happy. But I did not want to be a writer. But I wrote. I did not understand myself why I wrote, because I did not want to be a writer. But I have my answers. I still did not want to be a writer, but I wrote because I wanted to write. My grandfather, he passed away in 1996. But I continued writing, although I did not want to be a writer. At that time, I had no other choice except looking after my grandmother, who suffered arthritis pains, made her spend most of her time in bed. I read books accompanied with my grandmother. On the other hand, reading is the only pleasure which fate had left me. She taught me how to read poems, and she suggested which books to read. I remembered she always asked me what I am going to write today. I pretended to be interested in writing in front of her. When my grandmother passed away in 1999, I still continued writing. On the other hand, I had no other work. I had no jobs. I searched job opportunities and tried to join them, but no work fit me. I did not satisfy my life as a writer, although my writer's life reached to 5 years. I had the shame of seeing myself jobless. Whenever I said I did not want to be a writer, but I wrote because I want to write, my twin brother said, once a writer, always a writer. So I became a writer, as beggars cannot be choosers. That my father used to say about my writer's life. My mother, she always pushed me, encouraged me to write in English. but I was afraid to write in English. She always said, "Your grandmother was a writer both in English and in Burmese. You should have to write in English." But because of her encouragement, I started to write in English at my English blog. I created my English blog in 2008, but I really started to write in 2011, 2012. That's how I became a writer in English. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Also, I wanted to wish you Merry Christmas 2022 and very Happy New Year for 2023. I wish you good luck. May you be happy and healthy and away from natural disasters, away from dangers for all the year 2023. See you.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom.